I've got it.
All right, folks, we got to do another Tell Us Your Best Story because, oops, I just sat on a cat.
Murder Snake, go on.
Murder Snake? That's Murder Snake. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with my friend Caitlin and, say your name?
Dean.
And Dean. And Dean's got a story. He was just starting to tell, but I wanted to stop and I want to hear it on tape. It's a story of your brother Blaine.
Yes.
And what comes to your house?
He came to my house at about 3 in the morning, about 6 months after I had been fired from Mountain Sprout.
That's a band in Eureka Springs.
Yeah.
Awesome band.
And I'm sleeping in my bed, and he wakes me up, and he's got these beads in he's got these beads in his hand. They're Tibetan prayer beads that a friend of mine gave me.
Okay.
And,
those are the actual beads.
These are the beads he has in his hand. And he's holding them, and he's like, "So, I heard you killed these 3 dogs and then robbed this old lady for her beads." And I'm like, "Have you ever seen me even kick a dog?" And he's like, this lady's, got her beads stolen and her dog's killed, and, did you give Q-My some beads? And I was like, yeah, I was on a job, and this person who passed away, we were cleaning out their warehouse, and they had a lot of beads, so they gave me some beads, and I gave them to her, but she liked beading stuff. And so he's telling me this, and as he's telling me, all of a sudden, Grayson comes from the background and hits me with his rifle. Boom, hits me in the head.
What?
And I threw him off me, and I got up to just go grab him, and he got the gun turned around, and he's like, "You will die, you will die." I was like, "No,
Wait, stop. This story has escalated very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You're woken up at 3 in the morning by your brother.
Yeah.
And Grayson, who's another awesome musician here in Eureka. They're not joking?
No, they're not joking. He
Misinformed.
Right.
Wildly misinformed.
Okay, so he tells me to get on the floor.
What?
And take my clothes off. And then he proceeds to make me crawl all the way across my house.
Wait. First of all, let me break in. Grayson, he's the one that's got the shotgun on you?
Yeah, a rifle. It's not a shotgun. It's a rifle.
Well, we're splitting hairs at this point. But
Yeah.
okay, it's a rifle. Now, Grayson, he's the one. Have you seen the video where he was on the Jerry Springer show?
Yeah.
For being married to a prostitute?
He was pimping her out.
He was pimping her out.
Gina Galina was on.
Was that who was
No,
on?
it was Lisa. Washboard Lisa.
Yeah, it was
New
her.
Orleans. Yep.
These are our friends in Eureka. Okay, so Grayson, who was on the Jerry Springer show for pimping out his wife, I guess,
Yeah.
has got a rifle on you.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we get the story correct. Not shotgun, rifle.
Rifle.
And he's making you crawl
Across my house, down the stairs, across the way to my studio, and in there to wake his girlfriend, I don't know what, to wake her up.
Can we just, I'm going to help you out with the story.
Please.
The pre-story
The priest?
as to why she's there or what. Well, go ahead, I'm
This
sorry.
is getting good.
There's a lot of facets to the story.
We're
It's
uncovering.
funny that you chose to tell this one. So Grayson's girlfriend had moved out of Grayson's house into your house.
Well, I found her at the gas station with her car packed full of stuff and told her she could come stay at my house.
Are these stories all okay to be put on YouTube?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. All right.
I've seen Grayson since then, and we put some water under the bridge,
Yeah, well, it was misinformed. He was
Yeah.
misinformed.
He thought I stole his girlfriend, but,
Blaine thought you.
And I thought I killed some dogs and stole some beads.
I think.
That's a hell of a way to be woken up. Is that the end of the story? Because that's enough.
Well, no, I went, crawled, while he's throwing things at me and yelling at me, and woke her up, and then he kidnapped her at gunpoint. And then she came back a few days later, long enough for her to fix her pickup truck, and then she went back to him. She's still with him to this day.
Well, see, now that's a beautiful love story that ended well.
Yeah.
The people are not going to believe that that's a real story.
It's a real
actually.
It's honest to God. Yeah.
You have not been to Eureka Springs, so you don't know. But I 100% believe this story. I know all the people involved, and it's a beautiful story. It's a love story, really.
It is. It is a weird Arkansas.
And you still have the beads to remember.
I do. I wear these every day.
I bet you survived.
Whoever wears them is protected. You know.
Yeah.
That's true.
That reminds me of the story. Can you tell it real quick? I don't know if you've heard, but the story about Adam walks in on you had just punched a guy.
Oh, right.
You know the story?
Yes. Whitney Caps and I.
By the way,
She
some of these stories have violence in them, but they're not real violence. They're violence among friends.
Whiskey violence.
It's whiskey violence, and it's violence among friends.
It's violence among
Yeah. Nobody got hurt.
Definitely. I
Okay.
mean, the sweetest cat, I have to name Violence.
She has a cat named Violence.
Whitney Caps and I were playing hide and go seek.
By the way, awesome name, Whitney Caps.
Whitney Caps.
And one of my favorite Eureka people. Haven't seen her in a while. But anyway, go ahead. You guys are playing what?
We're playing hide and go seek.
Okay.
It's like Sunday afternoon, it's springtime. And there was a guy coming down off of probably some heroin-esque type drugs.
Okay.
So he was a little cranky and was getting very annoyed with Whitney and I playing hide and go seek. I think really because he couldn't play. We hadn't invited him to play. So he makes some comments.
Schoolyard indie.
Yeah, sure. So, he threw some sand at me, basically.
He threw some shade, as they say.
Exactly.
He said something bad to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Whitney and I, we were just playing hide and go seek, and it was actually our friend's house who was house sitting for other friends.
How long ago was this? Like 10
It
years?
was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
So, I walked up, punched him in the face. Stop.
Like
Stop
you do.
talking shit. That's it. It's very easy. Just be nice. You can play if you want. If I didn't know he wanted to play. So right as I do that, he stands up. Adam Wagner walks in the door.
I thought that happened right after, because I thought you guys went into the kitchen.
The living room where I punched him in the face was right there off the kitchen.
Okay.
So Adam walks in.
Adam Wagner, Chucky Wags, if you want to look him up. Awesome musician from Eureka Springs. Look up Chucky Wags. How do you spell Wags?
Waggs.
GGS.
Mm-hmm.
Chucky Wags. Adam is one of the nicest, most docile,
Yes.
sweetest men you'll ever meet.
Yes, he is.
And handsome fella.
Yeah.
And so he walks into he doesn't know what he's getting into. He just walks in, kind of like you waking up at 3 a.m. and there's this event that has just taken place. You just punched this guy, and he follows you into the kitchen with Whitney, and Adam walks in.
Adam's sitting there. This guy I had upset. We're actually friends now. We play poker. He's dating a friend of
All
mine.
the Eureka Springs stories end that way. We're all friends now.
We're all friends. We were friends then, I think.
Yeah, through the whole thing, we were friends.
He's angry. This guy that I just punched in the face. He looks, he's a girl, Adam. Decks Adam. Adam has a black eye for the next 2 weeks.
So he's mad. He's got to take his anger out, and
Sure.
he goes, girl, guy.
Yeah.
And he can hit the guy.
Sure. Adam has no idea it's coming. So then Whitney grabs a can opener, puts it in her hand like brass knuckles, and takes care of the situation.
And she hits the guy?
Yeah.
So the guy wakes up and wants to play hide and go seek or whatever. Let's say, just for the sake of the story, just for the understory. The guy wants to play hide and go seek. He's upset that he can't. He says something bad to you. You hit him in the face.
Sure.
He follows you into the kitchen. He can't.
I came out of my hiding spot to hit him.
Ooh.
I know. Game was over.
Yeah. So Adam walks in, not knowing what he's getting into. The guy hits Adam for no reason. Whitney sees this, puts on the things as brass knuckles, and
Can opener.
Brass knuckles, and then hits the guy who just hit Adam.
Sure.
And then what?
Well, we all kind of stood there. We ended up. I want to say we
like
ended
a
up
spaghetti
laughing.
western. You're all staring at each other.
Because
and what happens next?
The kitchen is an amazing kitchen in Eureka. All of the Fiesta ware that this woman had been collecting, whose house a friend of ours was house sitting and not there at the time, is filled with Fiesta ware and glass front cabinets. And so we all, it could have been very bad.
Mm-hmm.
And we all are looking like, ooh, we should either take this outside or high five and go to the bar. I'm pretty sure we went to the bar.
I thought when you first told me the story, you said, "Are we cool?" Everyone's looking at each other. Are we cool?
It was like that.
And then you're like, "I've got some ramen. You want to do ramen?"
That might have been. I might have added.
That's
that
what
in
you told.
for,
Okay, yeah,
for
effect.
For effect. But if there was that, like, I think we should stop sort of thing. Yeah. I might have said, "Are we cool?" That was like 10 years, and I don't even know how many whiskey bottles ago.
That's a beautiful story.
That's funny.
Did you hear? Have you ever heard this story? That story.
That's new on me.
We had some good times there, and actually, it was Travis's mom's house.
Oh.
Yeah.
One thing I remember about whiskey. There's a lot of things I remember about whiskey with us and the Sideshow Tramp situation, but one thing is, we won't say the name of the restaurant, but we would go out late at night. Caitlin, Whitney, the Tramps, Adam, Blaine, we'd all hang out and play. We ended up playing a baseball game inside of a house over here. Like a full-on baseball game with a wiffle ball.
Yeah.
Inside a house, bam, first base is the end of the couch, second base is the end table. Full baseball game. But anyway, after nights like these, we would meet at this certain place in town, and the reason we don't say the name is because of what happened. We would show up at this thing in the morning to kind of wake up in like 10 a.m. or something. And one of the people, the waiters there, we had a code word, which was apple juice. We would say, "I'd like a cup of coffee, an omelet, and some apple juice." And she'd come back to the table with the omelet, the coffee, and then a nice glass, a juice glass full of whiskey. And we just have our coffee and our whiskey. And then at the time, you had that ceramic ashtray.
Yes.
Caitlin had an ashtray.
It was a saucer for a coffee cup.
It was both in
Yeah.
one. It was an ashtray with a saucer and a coffee cup on top of it.
So
That was
great.
one unit.
Yeah.
So we'd get the apple juice, drink it, and then maybe get another one, and then pour it in the coffee, and then go walking around Eureka. And Caitlin's walking around with her cup of coffee and like her ceramic coffee thing and her ashtray, smoking a cigarette, walking down the street, drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes.
It was like you could smoke in airplanes, It was very accommodating setup.
Well, I think that's good. I don't know how long it's gone, but there's a million stories, but we'll find some more later. Thanks for the story.
Anytime.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for the story.
I'm
Bullet, thank you for joining Murder Snake,
Murder Snake.
all you guys.
Murder
And
Snake.
don't forget to like and to subscribe and tell great stories, people. Thanks, guys.
Whitney caps. You need to get Whitney caps.
Oh,
Never. Whitney's thing is never. What did she say? Her grandmother told her, "Never let the truth get in the way of a good story." And so maybe we all. What did you?
I'm saying goodbye to everyone.
Oh, bye! I didn't realize you were still filming.